Hello and welcome to the University of Law. In today's video I'm discussing the possibility of the 8th Doctor Time War range. Now this is the 8th Doctor Time War Volume 4. This was the last one that we got. In fact, I remember they released the cover art, I'm sure it was April Fool's Day, and we all thought that it was a joke. And then we realised, no, we are getting Davros. And so it was great because we thought it was winding us up and then teasing us, and then it turned out it was true. So I really loved this one. The first box set was solid, it was standalone. I thought the second one was solid, but for me it was the third and fourth ones that really grabbed me, and it felt like it was really going somewhere, and then it suddenly ended. I think of late, well, when they first started with the Time War stuff, they did a lot of stuff set around the Eighth Doctor's timeline. So about the dawn of the war, those kind of early skirmishes about how the old Gallifrey gave way to the new Gallifrey, how characters like Ace, Romana, Leela, Narvin, how they left the galactic stage, and how the likes of the General, Elistra, and Rassilon, took over essentially, paving the way for a new warrior incarnation of the Doctor to take over and wade into the madness. So yeah, the first couple of years of Big Finish content with the Time War were very much early Time War, and this is very much early Time War. It's all pre-Night of the Doctor. So I'd say for me the Time War's it's three stages. It's 8th Doctor, it's Young War Doctor, and it's Old War Doctor. So really looking at the first third of the war, but now we really seem to be, most of the releases seem to be exploring that kind of middle section now. So we've got a Young War Doctor, and a lot of the stuff like Gallifrey, Warham all seem to be taking place in the very centre of the war, in the heart of the battle, as it were. So I think I think it's good that they've kind of moved away from that, because the 8th Doctor stuff, clearly he refuses to fight. So there's only so many stories that you can tell about that. So it's nice that they're really exploring that kind of, the full horror of the war once it had warmed up, and once everything had kind of just, everything had lost control, basically. So I'm really excited about that, and I've always wanted them to do that. However, it does mean that we're not getting much of this at the moment. But I did read a Radio Times article this week. Paul McGann was promoting the new documentary about the TV movie being made, and he did mention that he was recording a Big Finish at the moment that links into the events of Night of the Doctor. Now, a couple of years ago, I think it was in the Susan's War box set, in the extras, David Richardson did mention, I'm sure, I'm trying to think of exactly how he said it, but that there was lots of different threads going on, because at that time we had Susan's War, we had Gallifrey Time War, we had the War Master, and they were all in the 8th Doctor Time War, and they were all set in the early days, and he said that they were all cross-pollinating. They were all a bit like Marvel, the MCU really, they're all different ranges that were cross-pollinating, and he said they were working towards a big event release in a couple of years' time. Could that be, maybe I've taken that too literally, but could that be what we're getting next year? Could there be an event release that finally ties everything together, brings all those early adventures together and gives them all closure? So we get closure to Susan's War, the 8th Doctor, War Master, the early Time War crew, Gallifrey Time War crew, and then that leaves it completely open for the new stuff that's now going forward in the middle of the war. It could even be that we start to plant a few mysteries and things that really launch us in. Rassilon could be the villain, as Richard Armitage, or you could have the Dalek Emperor. There's all sorts of stuff you could do that comes from him. I mean, the Dalek Emperor and Davros. It could be the Nightmare Child. We could see Davros, his final flight where he gets rescued by Dalek Khan. There's all sorts that we could do, and it'd be extra fun if it could link into Night of the Doctor. We had recently the 6th Doctor, The Last Adventure, and what if we get the 8th Doctor, The Last Adventure, that leads into the events of Night of the Doctor? It could be that we have a big, explosive final story for the 8th Doctor, and in the final moments when everything's over and he's finally saved the day, he gets a distress signal to the TARDIS, and it's Cass. He needs to go and rescue her, and that's it. And we know what's going to happen next. And I think that'd be really fun. But I mentioned, because I've got a similar theory for the 7th Doctor, and I think there could be potential for a Last Adventure range, and I'll do that in a separate video, so I won't talk about that too much now. But what are my predictions? Well, I think if we did get a Volume 5, or whether it was a big event release, either way, I think our clue as to what's going to happen next to the 8th Doctor Time War is this. It's Susan's War, because the 8th Doctor was in that, and the 8th Doctor meets Susan. Now, in the final adventure of Time War Volume 4, the Doctor is given by the Time Controller, Alex, the Doctor's great-grandson. He's given him in a case. He died at the hands of the Daleks, and now he's been returned. And the potential there is that they're going to do something with the Eighth Doctor and Susan, because it is her son after all. So I think certainly that could be what the 5th volume is. However, my hope would be that it is a big event release that brings all these different characters in together, perhaps in like a sort of multi-disc lovely book like we got with the 6th Doctor Last Adventure. Big explosive finale. I think it'd be a great way of ending the 8th Doctor's era, bringing in all those characters back, especially maybe even Lucy Miller, you know, having her back somehow. Charlie could be back. A nice big final adventure, bringing all those threads from the different ranges back. I think that'd be a really wonderful opportunity. But obviously that's just my theory, and whatever they do will be amazing. But they're just my thoughts. What do you think? What do you think we might get in a potential 5th volume of 8th Doctor Time War? Leave that in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. I look forward to speaking to you soon.